All right, guys. Well, we're going to be multiplying some liquid culture today. I have my liquid culture and I have my jar. We have our solution that the mycelium will live in, and they just will colonize this. This is the first time I'm doing it, so this is literally just for documentation purposes. I am gonna just treat this kind of as if it was my regular mycology stuff that I'm doing. We take a few precautions, of course. We got our 70% alcohol that we'll be using. My face mask, we'll go ahead and put that on and get started. And then, of course, gloves, paper towels, liquid culture, since we will be using our needle today. So let's get her started. I got this particular jar on Amazon. It's got the self-healing port right there. We will get the needle onto our liquid culture syringe. We will inject it. I haven't really found many documentation showing exactly how much they recommend putting in there. We've got a 10 cc or 10 milliliter liquid culture. We're gonna use half. That'll at least give me my half-gallon jar. When I normally run my mushrooms, I like to do a 5 cc into a half-gallon jar, so that will give me one good run. And I believe that this is something like 300 milliliters, so we will get quite a bit. Now, this is my normal practice. Anytime I am getting ready to do something, I am going to come through. I will spray down my work area with that alcohol still sitting on there. I am going to now spray the equipment that I am bringing in, spraying that as well, and just getting everything in place. Now that we're all clean, I take this, push this up just a little bit, and then I'll take my first paper towel. Let's go ahead and wipe this down. We now have our clean surface. I'm now gonna take some more paper towels and we're gonna wipe our things down and bring it onto our clean surface that we've already wiped down. I may be overly cautious with all this stuff, but again, I hate putting in work and not getting any type of return. Again, this is completely new to me, so I have no idea what I'm getting myself into when it comes to trying to do this multiplying of the liquid culture. So as you can see, that stuff that's floating around is actually the mycelium. That's actually the genetics of the mushroom. And then the liquid itself is actually just that food service, that house, if you will, that houses our liquid culture. Right? Let's start getting this ready. Now, this is a sterilized needle, so I will not bother flame sterilizing. And boy, I'm about out of alcohol. I think after this, I better go get me some. Always spraying down my hands. The wonderful lady that I learned this from, one thing I remember her saying, when in doubt, spray it out. So we've got this. We're taking our alcohol swab, getting her ready. Now, I am going to pop off that top. I'm going to put this over top, and then we're putting her right on. And there we go. Probably could have done it without the alcohol swab, but again, that's what I do. We'll give her a little shake here. Get all this stuff moving around in there. And then what we're going to do is we're giving it 5 cc's. So we're a little over 10 now. We're going to bring it to right there. So we're actually doing about 6 cc's, and boom, we're taking that back off. Let's get this other alcohol swab, our needle off. Let's wipe that down. Let's wipe our cap down, and then we're back on. So we've now inoculated our jar. It's now got a new bigger home. You'll also notice that little pill looking thing. That's basically just like a little shaker in there from what I understand. You kind of, look at that. All that lovely stuff just floating around in there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and put it up on my shelf. In a few days, we'll see how it's looking. Of course, we're going to check it every day. It should continue to grow. It's now got this nice new big home with all this wonderful food in there for it. So hopefully it's happy. All right, guys. Well, it's been 83 days since we have put the liquid culture into our jar. We only put 5 cc's into it, and I think that this is somewhere around a 300 milliliter jar. I would say we're probably about halfway full of the actual mycelium and everything growing in there. There was only a little bit that was in there when we did this. So it's definitely grown. 83 days. I think I've stretched it as far as I can. It's starting to cool down in my house a little bit. I am not going to run a heater to get the temperature up a little bit. The stuff that we've got here, obviously our paper towels are 70% ISO in a spray bottle. Anybody that's ever gotten any liquid culture usually have these little blue twist on. I don't know the name of it, but what it does is it caps off the end of our syringes. I've got them soaking inside that 70% alcohol right now. We've got obviously all of our syringes. These are all sterilized. And of course, these do have the needles on there, but we're going to be junking those, putting those caps on. And then, of course, we've got our gloves. As you can see, everything's just a little bit wet. I did spray down before I started working. So that 70% has been soaking on the surface and everything that I've gotten ready. Now we're going to, again, even though you saw me spray everything on myself, wipe that down, we're going to spray everything again. Again, I think I'm just overly cautious. I don't like wasting my time on things that may end up junking on me if I don't put in just a little bit of extra effort. We will clean our area, everything that we're going to be working with. Again, these are sterilized in here, so I'm not going to spray them down once I open them, but I'm just going to spray the actual stuff because that's what I'll be touching. So we will get this ready to do what we got to do. It's all brand new to me. I'm very excited. Hopefully I didn't screw it up, contaminate it in any kind of way. We're going to take the one syringe that we have here. That will be the one that we're going to work with. We will, boop, just like that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to tip it to the side a little bit. And we're going to start pulling that stuff in. We'll take that first one off and then wiping that. And then we'll cap it. All right. And we'll just keep plugging away. It's a little tough when these things start getting wet. Going along pretty good. Hopefully I'm doing it right. You can definitely see the mycelium in those syringes. So I know I am collecting it. Obviously, probably the best practice would be to have a long laminar flow hood to be doing all of this. I may end up contaminating this stuff. I really don't know. So I'm hoping not, but I suppose we won't know until we give it a try. I probably should have gotten some agar plates and tested these out, but it is what it is. This was kind of a spur of the moment. I really wanted to try this out. Hopefully it all works out. I have a lot more than I had initially expected. And this was all just from a 5 cc's of our original liquid culture. It's pretty amazing how this stuff grows and it does what it does. Again, I'm doing my normal practice where I make sure everything's clean. I set up beforehand, make sure that there's not fans going or anything like that. Of course, this is a little, like I said, a little more unorthodox, I imagine, than people normally do when they're doing this type of mycology work. Definitely needs more of a sterile environment, or at least that's what a lot of people do. And I could be doing all of this for nothing. It could end up all just crapping out, and I could have contaminated everything. I don't know. But it was worth the time of just having this sitting on the shelf, keeping my eye on it, shaking it every once in a while. Yeah, I mean, I spent a little bit of money, obviously, right? To have the liquid culture and this, and just a fun little experiment to see if this all works. Not bad. Definitely far more than I was expecting. What we're doing here is we've got that needle in there. We're trying to suck out the mycelium that is floating around in there. That is our inoculant. That is our seed, if you will. It does appear that we will have more than we actually need. And basically what I'm trying to do is, while I'm pulling back on this plunger, I'm trying to hit any areas that have that mycelium that's floating around in there. And like I said, this has been going for the past 80 something days. And it's been from half of one of these, just half, was enough to inoculate that, and then now have all of these syringes. We've made quite a bit. There we go. We have done it, folks, and we'll take that out real quick. This will go in my fridge, and I've still got this for a little bit. There we go. From 5 milliliters, 5 cc's of liquid culture, I have just made all of those. Now, they're not fully, I would say that these probably still have to colonate a little bit to get more, kind of fill in. So it's looking more like that. But definitely when we were pulling it through, it was kind of shredding and pulling apart those little puffs of mycelium. So I imagine that they kind of have to restructure whatever it is they do, and then it will look like that inside here. But gosh dang, I'll tell you, for anybody that is would like to get a hobby that has the potential of being expensive, but there's so many of these things that you could do like this, like getting one of these, multiplying your own LC, and then having all of this to work with. You wouldn't have to buy any for quite some time. And it just goes to show you that you can be your own LC supplier, right? You find that strain that you like, and then you multiply it, and then you can work these forward. You can cross different things, right? The mycology world is pretty amazing, and I'm very much a newbie, but I'm excited to learn all these new things and try these out. So that's it. We just multiplied some LC, and we've still got quite a bit left over. So that's it, y'all. All right, peace.